Okay, so grab your motherboard, flip it around, and try to line up the corners, and then just drop it in place like that. Okay, maybe push on it just a little bit. Okay, there you go. So make sure that the thermal paste is spread evenly under there. Perfect. Now you're pretty much done the reflow, so all you need to do now is put it back together, which we're going to do right now. Okay, so first things first, make sure you don't forget to reconnect the bottom cable here that I made you take off earlier, off the fan power. So make sure you don't flip your motherboard around just to be safe. So just lift up the whole thing and replug the cable. There's only one spot, so don't worry about it. It's kind of obvious where it goes. Alright, so flip your motherboard and heatsink so that the ribbon is facing away from you. I just find it easier that way. So slide it in the hole right underneath the top left corner of the chip. So make sure you keep it straight, and it's just going to pop out there. And again, it's kind of obvious. Sorry, let's do that again. So you need to make sure that you hook up the back part first before you do that. So that it gets kind of tricky. You can just sort of lean over and fish it through. So once you've done that and the ribbon pops back up, you can just sort of clip it back into place by just sliding it in place and closing the clip. Okay, so now you can re-screw the plates. That'll apply some nice pressure on the thermal paste and help spread it around even more. So don't screw this on too tight. Just do maybe a little bit of back and forth between both screws to make sure that you're screwing it in levelly, on level, so that you don't get one screw too much deeper than the other one. Okay. Now grab your back plate and slide it back. It'll just sort of clip into place. So pretty simple. Nothing to worry about here. So now grab the bottom of the PlayStation and lay it flat. And just lift up the whole thing, and you can just sort of nicely drop it in there, and it's just gonna perfectly fit. So you don't have to worry about anything. There you go. So everything lines up, and then you can just put your screws back. So remember this step when we took it out of the casing, we removed all of the screws where the arrows were etched into the plate. So now we're just going to put those screws back. Remember that the long one goes where the red sticker is, in the bottom right corner. Okay. So now that that's done, you can reinstall your hard drive. So just do the exact same thing as before. Just slide it in there. Push it to the left until you hear a click. Push the handle back, and now you can screw in your little blue screw right in the middle, just below the handle again. And you can pop the cover back on now or later, that's up to you, it doesn't matter. There you go. So we're going to get the power unit back on there first. So you want the cable, you want the cable facing away from you. So just put it down so that these two little holes here line up with these two pins here. And that way it's going to fall exactly on and line up where the screws need to be, so you can't make a mistake there. So take the cable and plug it back into the jack right next to the chipboard, just like that. And then put your 5 screws back. But before you do, I suggest, oh, actually, you know what? No, let's put the 5 screws back first. These are really small, so try not to lose them. I got big fingers, kind of a hard job. It's probably the hardest part of the whole thing. Okay, so now you gotta screw in your ground. So grab the little tiny screw with the washer attached to it and thread it back through the hole of the washer attached to the yellow and green wire. There's only one place it can screw in, so that's the one. Don't need to figure that one out. And then slide the cable back into the hole, the plug back into its socket. You hear it click. Tuck the wires back in under the lip. And then all you need to do is put the Blu-ray drive back, which is a little tricky for me because my clip is broken. So I'm going to have to be very careful doing this. So I'm just going to do it, and we're going to come back after I've successfully clipped it in. Okay, so you can see the ribbon right there. It goes back into the clip. And you don't need to screw anything else in except for clipping that ribbon. That's all there is to it. And you just got to sort of gently lay it down flat. It's just sort of naturally going to fall into place and line up. And reattach the cable here. And that's it. Your PlayStation is successfully put back together. So put your cover back on. Put your screws back in. Make sure you keep the small screw for the top right corner where there's an S there. S stands for small. Okay, there you go. So we're going to plug it back in and try it. Boom. It's plugged in, and we push power. And there you go. The PlayStation is alive once again. I'm Nick Latray. Thank you very much for watching.